Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tile Coach. We're doing a live stream here. It's been a while, so I just wanted to catch up and get together with you, let you in on what I've been up to, and do this video topic of getting a building permit for doing a tiled shower, because that's a common question I get, and it's kind of a little bit of a sticking point for a lot of contractors. And I just wanted to go over the process because recently we applied for a permit down in Sacramento County. And I kind of wanted to just go over the process with you to let you guys in on what it was like getting the permit, how difficult it was, how much it cost, and also some of the changes that have been made recently. I think because of COVID and how everybody has had to adjust and change the way they do business, some things have changed, and I think they have gotten easier to get building permits. So I'm going to be going over all of that, plus a few of the maybe things that you don't know that you have to do, or the homeowner has to do when getting a building permit for simply just doing a tiled shower. Now, I'm specifically talking about the state of California. So if you're not in California, every state is different. I know some states like Texas, Florida, I don't think there's any building permits. And I think Texas doesn't even have any licensed contractor laws. So you can imagine some of the work that I see coming in from you guys reaching out when I'm doing my coaching sessions or just emails. So a lot of bad tile jobs down there because there's no regulation. And again, I think I've shared with you guys before that I'm kind of in the middle, right? I don't think governments should be overreaching and making it really difficult to do business. Because what ends up happening is people just won't get a permit, right? I mean, if it becomes too much hassle or too expensive, people will just choose not to. So that's not a good thing either. But there's got to be a middle ground here. So I think we're kind of getting there. And again, this is California, so but there's a lot of Californians who watch my videos, and in the United States, I'm sure you know, California is a very big state, and it has 1/8 of the people of our nation are in California. So a lot of people here. So um, this will be helpful for a lot of you, and it will be just some good information too, if you want to see how we do business here. So I'll be taking some questions. I wanted to give this a little bit of time because I didn't announce this live stream, and I know a lot of you guys are working, getting off work, and we'll probably be filtering in here. But we got 72 people on live, so thank you, thank you, man. I just love connecting with you guys in this way. And again, it's been a long time. It's been a couple months since I've done this, so thank you for being here. So glad you're here with me. So I just see a comment, 4 weeks waiting for a permit in Baltimore. Okay, so this project that I'm doing, I'm working on, and this one of my viewers who watched my videos down in Sacramento, and we're outside of Sacramento, so we're in Placer County actually, which is a neighboring county. I guess it would be just east of Sacramento County. We're kind of on the edge of the Sacramento Valley, but Placer County actually goes all the way to. Does it go to the? Yeah, it goes all the way to the Nevada border in Lake Tahoe. So um, Placer County is away from Sacramento, but we still do work in Sacramento. And as a matter of fact, when I started doing tile work, 95% of my work, even though I lived in Roseville, in Placer County, was in Sacramento. I worked a lot in downtown Sacramento. That's where the work was. That's where my connections were, my general contractors. So I'm very familiar with working in Sacramento. As I've established my own business and my own showroom that I have here, I've been able to focus more of my work locally within like a 10-mile radius, which has been awesome. And that's mostly up here in Placer County. But this job's in Sacramento County. One of my viewers reached out. He had a hot mop shower that leaked. And so he sent me an email, sent me pictures, wanted to get an estimate on the project. And so I did, gave him a price. And long story short, we are working together. And I'll be actually, we're starting the construction next Monday. So I'll have a really cool video on another hot mop failure, which, I've been running into quite a few of these lately, the hot mop. And if you don't know what a hot mop is, you can do a Google search and most likely one of my videos will pop up on hot mop. But anyways, it's a two-story home, and the shower ended up leaking through the ceiling. I've had a lot of those lately too. Run into a lot of leaking showers that has just, damaged the drywall, water coming down through the ceiling. He had cut a hole and I could see up there, and yeah, anyways, leaking hot mop. So we're going to be redoing this job. And the customer, he is was kind of particular about a lot of things, and a really nice guy. Seemed very trustworthy, so took on the project, and I have a pretty good feeler now about my clients. I've been doing this for 20 years. Every once in a while, one slips through the cracks, where I'm like, man, why did I uh, work for this person? But very rarely do I miss one. I have a pretty good way of finding out if they're going to be a good fit for our team. Well, anyways, he fit the description, but he is very particular, and so I said, you know what, I'm going to get a permit on this job, which we don't always do. I'm going to admit it that a lot of times when we're rebuilding a shower, we don't go through the bother, but I always offer the option to the homeowners. I always ask them, do you want us to pull a permit on this? And I tell them the pros and the cons of doing that. And most of the time, the homeowners say no. They trust me. I have again a pretty good reputation in the area and presence on the internet. So, I don't always get a permit, and I assume most of you don't either. If you're in California, or I'm not going to assume anything. Maybe you do, but anyways, I don't. So, but this one, I said, he's a particular gentleman. He has, really kind of dots his I, crosses his T's. I said, I'm gonna pull a permit on this one. So the process was pretty simple, actually, with Sacramento County. I just went to their website and went to the building department website. So whatever county or city you're in, usually if you go to their government page, whatever city, county, jurisdiction you're in, or municipality, should say, because there's usually city, there's usually county. Um, well, it's usually the two. It's either the city or the county. If you're in the city proper, you're going to go to the city website. Like this is city of Sacramento. So I went to City of Sacramento building department, and then there was an email and a phone number, and so I just shot them an email, and I just said I want to get a building permit for a shower remodel that we're doing. And the very next day, I got an email back, and she sent me the application. So this application came in the mail, and basically what the application had on it was the project location. They wanted the property owner's name and email and phone number. They wanted my contractor information, which is Otile LLC. They wanted my license number, which is 827-397. They wanted my email, phone number, address, on and on. And then basically a description of work, which I put right here, which is remove and replace tile door in hall bathroom. So really, that's the only description that I put. And also they wanted the valuation of the total project, which ended up running $25,637.90. So that was page one. Page two, they wanted to know, what do they want to know? Sorry, I can't read this. Who the permit holder's name, whose name it's going to be in. Is it going to be in the contractor's name? Is it going to be in the homeowner's name? So I have mine, Otile LLC, and then address and all that. And then there's also, so like I said, there's basically two ways to do this. You can either do a permit. If I'm a company, I can get the permit in my name under my company. In California, you can also do the permit in the homeowner's name, and they can act as what we call an owner builder, which basically exempts them from having to have a contractor's license. So If you're not a licensed contractor, and I know there are a lot of contractors, tile guys who are operating without a contractor's license. If you are, you could always tell the homeowner, hey, can you just pull a permit in your name as an owner builder? And that's one way to do it if you're not licensed, because I know a lot of people don't want to pull permits because they're afraid because they're not licensed, or maybe they don't hold the right classification. Because, yeah, when I sign up for doing the license under my contractor's license, I have to put my classification. Here's my license number. My classification is C54, and with a B classification also, which is a general contractor. So I have a tile specialty license, but I also have a general B. So this is all my information. But say I didn't have that. Say either I was just a C54, which in California just allows you to do tile work. You're not really supposed to do plumbing. You're not supposed to do electrical or any of the other scopes of work. You're supposed to just do tile. So maybe if you're just a C54 and you're going, man, I don't want to get a permit because there's demo involved. Excuse me. Maybe there's demo involved. Maybe there's a plumbing valve you have to rough in. Maybe there's some sheetrock work you're doing, painting. And you're going, well, I'm only licensed to do tile. Well, the owner builder declaration would probably be a good way to go. You can just have the homeowner pull the permit in his name, and you would just do the work as is, and the homeowner would be then responsible for getting inspections, doing all that stuff with the building department, filling all these forms out and whatnot. So that's the application. So again, this application was sent to me the very next day. I didn't have to go stand in line anywhere. I didn't have to wait on hold on the phone. It was simply an email that I sent. Next day it was sent back. So all I did is I filled out the application and sent it back to them. They also wanted a copy of my driver's license, and that was about it. And then it was only, I think, maybe 1 or 2 days after that, after I sent the application, they sent me the fee schedule. So this is what it was going to cost to get the permit, which ended up being $363.90. So I believe the fees are based on the valuation of the project that you're doing. So a $25,000 project runs $363 in permit fees. So that's it. That's all of it costs. And I know there's a lot of misconceptions about getting permits and the cost of it. People say, oh, that's just a waste of money. It's too expensive. Well, on a $25,000 job, forking over $360 for a permit is not that big of a deal. So once I paid, because then they just had an ACH link where I was able to pay this. Again, this was 2 days after I first contacted them. The very next day after I paid the fees, my permit was issued. So the next thing was this that came, and this is the permit. This is a permit packet. So this is going to go, you're supposed to post this. I'm trying to keep the name and address off here so you don't see. But this is needs to be posted on the job site, I guess in the bathroom while you're working. And this is for the inspections that are going to need to take place while you're doing the project. So that was really pretty easy. Getting the permit was very easy. And so once we start the work, there are going to be some inspections. And that's the other thing that a lot of people are afraid of. And really probably the biggest hindrance to us getting inspection or permits on all of our jobs. I guess the biggest hindrance would be the inspections, because it's not the cost really. Again, $360 to get a permit, it's not that big of a deal. But losing a whole day of work while you wait around for an inspector to come for the couple different things that you would need to do in a shower or bathroom, the 1 or 2 inspection that you do is a big deal, right? If you're having to basically hold off on the work till an inspector comes out there, and they usually don't tell you when they're going to get there till the morning of. Like usually you call for an inspection the day before, and then the next day they let you know what time they're going to be out. So it's like, that can be a pain in the butt. Like that could really mess up the schedule. So that's usually the biggest hindrance. What's really cool about the way that, again, I said things have changed since COVID, the way that they're doing it is you can do your inspections with the inspector over FaceTime. So literally they have a little QR code right here. So you take your phone and you hit the QR code, and then you FaceTime with the inspector and you show them, well, here's my rough-in shower valve, and here's my pan filled up with water that's been sitting for 24 hours, and thumbs up, good to go. Okay, right on. Now move on to the next step. So I was actually really excited, and I didn't know that until I applied for the building permit, and then they told me we're doing our inspections via FaceTime right now. So I think that's really cool. I think that might be a way for municipalities to increase their revenue, get more jobs permitted, if they allowed technology to come in and help speed up the inspection process. Because the inspections for the most part are that I've dealt with are inspectors coming in and they look at it. Okay, it's not leaking. Okay, sign it off. All right, we're out of here. So it's not like they're doing really in depth, high tech stuff. They're just really looking and seeing if something's leaking or not. So that, I think, if other municipalities picked up on what Sacramento is doing, and maybe they already are, I'm sure they probably are. I'm sure Sacramento didn't come up with this on their own. That I think we could get a lot more of these jobs permitted, which I think is good. Again, some more oversight on our tiled projects, because I see so many failures. I see so many bad tile jobs that if an inspector were to put their eye on it, they would go, "Whoa, wait! This guy has no idea what he's doing." I mean, I've seen, just yesterday, I had a coaching call with someone up in Oregon, and he showed me, we were doing a Zoom call, and he showed me the plumbing that he'd ripped out. And this was originally a flip house, and the plumbing was literally inside the wall. I'd never seen this before. Inside the wall, the plumber had soldered gate valves, half-inch gate valves, onto the copper pipe, and then had a threaded connection coming out that he used the flexible supply lines like you use under a faucet, the flexible hoses with the half inch threaded connections. So he installed gate valves under the shower mixer valve. There's gate valves, and then he had hoses going into and threaded onto the shower mixer valve. And then that whole setup wasn't secured to anything because it had a fiberglass enclosure. Then they just cinched it up with the scutcheon screws and the shower head tightened on there. And to top it off, when I saw that, he was showing it to me, and I go, "Wait, can you zoom in a little bit more?" And he zoomed in a little bit more, and one of the solders had been leaking. And I said, "Yeah, right there by your thumb, it's wet." And he goes, "Oh yeah, it is." And so he just noticed it. So I mean, those are types of things where a building inspector, they might not be up on everything, but they would be able to see something like that and go, wait. Let's pump the brakes here. We got something going on. A lot of the shower pan stuff kind of goes along with that too. I see some shower pans that people have no clue. They use a PVC pan liner and they're thin setting directly onto it. A lot of really goofy things that a building inspector would be able to pick up on. So again, I don't think oversight is necessarily a bad thing. I think it could help us. It could help our industry because, again, tile failures. I hear the comment a lot that people say, "Oh, it's just job security for me." Well, maybe, but if these tile jobs keep happening, these really bad tile jobs that people have no clue what they're doing, and these contractors are out there running around building these showers like this, and they keep failing, what's going to happen is people are just going to think that tile is bad, that tile leaks, that tile just has problems, because that will be their experience. They will hear their neighbors talking about it. They will hear their relatives talking about it. Oh, I did this tile. This guy did the tile and it leaks. I'm never doing tile again. And I'll see that in the comments sometime. You'll see it a lot. You'll see, I'll never do tile work. I'll never do tile in a shower again. So, anyways, so I think some oversight is good. I know the videos are helping. My videos, Sal's videos, Landberg's videos. There's a lot of good YouTube content out there that's helping. Instagram and Facebook, there's a lot of good info on there, and of course, John Bridge Forums is a good place that's been helping a lot of people too. So. That's basically my experience. So that was getting the permit. So the permit's all good to go. We're going to start the job next Monday, the 2nd, I believe. One thing to note too in California, now this might be kind of you might have heard, or it might just be a pain in the butt, but the city is requiring, as per the permit, so any job that's over $1,000, whether it's a bathroom, kitchen, whatever you do, building a deck, whatever it is, any job over $1,000 in a home, you have to get carbon monoxide sensor, and make sure the carbon monoxide sensor is installed, and make sure that the rooms have smoke detectors. So form actually isn't filled out by me, the contractor. This is for the homeowner. So I give this to the homeowner. He signs this, this isn't my deal. I give this to him. He fills it out and signs it. So whether he has I don't really care if he has smoke detectors or carbon monoxide detectors in his home, because he's filling this out and he's giving it back to me. And then I'm submitting it as part of the final inspection of the building permit. So that is one thing too, smoke detectors in the rooms and a carbon monoxide sensor in the main room is required in California, which again, probably isn't a bad thing. Carbon monoxide, I don't know. I've never heard anybody really getting hurt from carbon monoxide, but I'm sure someone has. I've heard of it happening in like trailers, maybe mobile homes, where people are using, funny heat sources, like maybe they're running their oven to heat up their living space or something. But in residential, I've never heard of carbon monoxide being a problem. But anyways, maybe that's a little bit of an overreach. Smoke detectors are a good thing though, right? You should have working smoke detectors in your house. And, actually by doing this probably does save some lives. So I'm not totally against that. The other thing to keep in mind, I know that if you're doing in California, we have Title 24, which is our energy codes and energy conservation codes. So if you're doing a whole bathroom, I don't think I have to as part of this, just doing the shower. But if you're doing the whole bathroom, I believe you have to have occupancy sensor light switch. So as part of Title 24, I think it's in bathrooms, garages, laundry rooms, utility rooms, you have to have at least one of your light fixtures on an occupancy sensor. That's a hard word for me to say. So that when you leave the room, it shuts off. Basically has a little timer on it, and it has the little sensor, like infrared sensor. When nobody's in there, it shuts off. So that's not a big deal. That's just a switch that you plug into the wall, probably costs about $30. So the things that people are really worried about getting a permit, I would just say it's not that big of a deal. We do have water conservation codes here in California. Our fixtures, our showers can only be 1.75 gallon per minute. Our lab faucets can only be 1.2. Toilets are 1.2, I believe. So, but those fixtures are all sold in all of our plumbing supply houses. So it doesn't really matter. And if people want to pull the restrictor out later, they can, if they want. So again, not that big of a deal on the requirements. The cost isn't that much. And again, if they're using they're letting us use FaceTime for the inspections, shoot, I'm all for that. That's just have my guys, when my guys are on site, they'll just, shoot the little FaceTime video with the inspector and we'll be good to go. But practically again, if somebody, but the thing is here too, that a permit is not going to save someone from a bad job either, right? Just because you get a permit and just because an inspector sees that the rough-in valve isn't leaking and they see that the shower pan isn't leaking, that doesn't mean that the shower pan's not going to leak eventually, or maybe it is leaking, but it's leaking so little that in 24 hours you can't really tell. But over time, maybe that will end up leaking out. And also, just because a shower doesn't leak doesn't mean that it's going to be a skilled tile installer that's going to do the finishes really nice, a level coplanar, consistent grout joints, and doing a really good tile job. That's not going to guarantee that at all. Basically, the inspections that you're going for are the rough-in plumbing, um, and the water pan test. So yeah, so that's that. I want to, again, I haven't talked to you guys in a while, so I want to check out some questions and see what you guys have to say. About the tile. Let's see. And I'm going to try to stick on the topic of permits for now, because that's what the topic of this video is. And if somebody has searched um, this, you know, looking for a video on permits, I want to get those questions first. But um, I will get into the other questions for a little bit here too, kind of just an open discussion. Okay, the government sucks, especially in California. When are you going to revisit the Red Guard fiasco? The Red Guard fiasco. Yeah, I actually had a pretty good talk with Sal, um, and Sal's a person that I reach out to sometimes when I have questions on stuff. Really knowledgeable guy. I also had talked with the president of the NTCA, and we had a good conversation about what the cause probably was, and it was, they think that the moisture in the mortar bed was, there's still moisture in the mortar bed, even though it's dry, that it needs to completely dry. All of the water vapor needs to have escaped, all of the moisture basically needs to have escaped the mortar bed before you put Red Guard on it. So, which typically, Hydroban says 72 hours. It's really dependent on temperature and humidity, though. That's that's guessing that, or that's implying that you have 70 degrees and I think 50% humidity. That mortar bed needs to dry out. So what happened was is that even though the mortar was dry, there was still vapor trying to escape. And so you put the layer of Red Guard on, basically it traps it in there. And it's fine as long as it's not wet. But as soon as you put water on it, it has nowhere to go, because common misconception is um, that liquid membranes are vapor proof, but they're not. So while there's no water on top of the Red Guard, the vapor can still escape through the Red Guard itself. So that's why it looked good. It looked fine before I put water on there. But once I put water on there, then the vapor didn't have anywhere to go, and it just pushed up and made all of those little bubbles, and it made the Red Guard just kind of crumbly and soft. So that was basically it. So if you're using Red Guard, you need to wait at least 3 days for a mortar bed. And again, I would say at least, because that was a pretty small section of mortar. It wasn't very thick. And if you're doing a big mortar bed, especially if you're on a slab, right? Because there could be moisture in the slab as well. And if it's cool, the slabs are usually cool. They're usually not 70 degrees. And so if it's, a, a cool slab and you're putting a mortar bed on there, I would say it's probably going to take about a week for all of the vapor to escape out of the mortar before you can put the red guard on. So that video was more to just show that it's not as easy as it looks. It's not as easy as most people assume red guard will be, because again, most of the stuff that I see on the internet, people are doing their mortar beds and they're putting red guard on literally the next day. They don't water test it, so they assume that it works because it looks good. You come back and you see it dries, you go, oh, it looks great. But the minute it gets water on it, it's going to start doing those funny things like getting bubbles and all that. So I might revisit that with another video, but I'll probably actually just go, because there's another product that I was introduced to, the Hydroban Quick Cure, which you can actually put it right on wet mortar. It doesn't even have to be the next day. So I'll probably be doing some more mock-ups to show how that product works. But I could probably also revisit the RedGuard video, just letting that mortar set up for about a week, just do my dry pack, wait a week, and then do it. And I think it would work. And that would be a good way, again, to show people who are using RedGuard. Because I guarantee that if I went to, say, I went down to the Home Depot and I asked the Home Depot guy, and I said, how do you use this RedGuard? And he probably say, oh, you just paint it on, right? That's usually what people say. Oh, you just paint it on. And if I said, oh, so if I do a dry pack the next day, I could just paint it on there and it'll be waterproof. And I'll bet he would say, yeah, that's all you need to do. And I doubt he's going to say, no, you got to wait at least 3 days at 70 degrees. And if it's longer than 70 degrees, you're probably going to have to wait 4 or 5 days before you put the red guard on. I can almost guarantee that he's not going to say that. And custom building products doesn't want you to know that either, because it would greatly, greatly reduce the sales of RedGuard if you knew that you had to wait 5 freaking days from the time that you did your mortar bed to the time you could put the RedGuard on it. Sales would just go boom, because people would be like, why would I use this product? I can use Curdy or a sheet membrane and do it the very next day. So anyways, maybe I will do that. But that's kind of the thing with RedGuard, is there's a lot of misconceptions on how it's supposed to be used. And it's such a widely used product that there is a ton of bad installs using RedGuard. And my hope is that by making videos like these, people are aware and they go, oh, wow, that's not how it's supposed to be used. So camera quality is very low. Yes, I'm not this was kind of an impromptu live stream again because I missed you guys, but I'm using just my laptop camera, so nothing high def here. Kevin said 25K for a bathroom. Sheesh, that's not just a bathroom, that's for the shower. Let's see. How much? No, I'm sorry, I take that back. It's for the shower and the bathroom floor and dry rot repair, water damage repair. So I get a lot of comments on pricing, and pricing is really difficult because it's very subjective. There's so many factors that go into pricing, from geographical regions to competition to skill level to, I can't say, yeah, a shower should be $25,000, because, there's so many different things. Okay, well, what's the price on the plumbing fixtures? What's the price? Or what kind of glass are you doing? Heavy glass? You doing frameless glass? The video that I did a couple weeks ago where I did a tear out, and I decided to leave the pricing in there. I actually had the homeowner there with me. We had already discussed some basic pricing, and it was the video that I said was star tile right about. It was about the water wicking over the curb, got to the 2x4s. If you've seen that video, anyways, you'll notice that I did talk about pricing, and I intentionally left the pricing in there because I wanted people to know what showers cost in our area, and for whatever that's worth, But I think it's important to start talking about pricing, because the it helps everybody out, especially if people are going, oh, I'm only getting $5,000 for a complete bathroom remodel. Well, maybe if there's more awareness about what people are making, maybe you can raise your prices. So I think it's important. It's a kind of a taboo subject, and it really shouldn't be. I mean, price is price. Price is like it's set by what your cost, your overhead is, and it's also set by supply and demand. It's not really a personal thing. And I think a lot of us get hung up on pricing and we feel guilty, and we feel like um, I don't know. So my dad, my family was basically government workers. I grew up in a family. My dad was a high school teacher. My mom worked for the school too. Both of my sisters worked for the school. My grandparents worked for schools. So it's like they had the fixed income, and so what I was taught early on about people who supposedly charged a lot or ripped people off, there was a lot of really negative messages, and I kind of had to get over that because I felt that. I felt like, oh, if I charge what I'm worth, I'm like a bad person, and I had that going through me. And then with the help of some people in business, and I no, it's more of the business has to operate. The business is has its overhead it needs to meet. Supply and demand factors come into play, and it's not that's not anything. What it's not You're not a bad person for charging what you feel you're worth. So the market will tell you if you're charging too much. The market will tell you. Trust me, you won't have any work. So that's just a little bit on that. But yeah, this project is going to be about $25,000 to do the shower. It's a 3x5 shower and about 50 square feet of floor, but it's high end. It's 24 by 48 porcelain. We're going in with complete warranted waterproofing system. I'm giving him a 10-year warranty on my work. So if anything goes wrong with his tile work, anything, 10 years, I'm going back to fix it. So it's getting the heavy glass doors. So the glass doors themselves run 2,500, 3,000 installed. So that'll eat up a budget real quick. So you guys that say that it's a rip off or whatever, you pretty much you don't have any idea of what's going into it. So charge what you're worth, man, and find the clients that are going to pay for it. And if you don't, then adjust your sales. And every once in a while, I have to too. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here's a good comment. The housing market is going to cool down also, and people will waive and accept less. You will want that permit when it comes time to sell. So that is a good point, right? In a hot real estate market, people are buying up houses. They don't care about permits. A lot of people in these flip houses, like I've talked about, are waiving inspections when they're buying a home. In the real estate, typical real estate, you do inspections. You hire a home inspector. He goes and he finds all the things that are wrong with the house, and usually the seller addresses those, or you come to an agreement, yeah, or some kind of negotiation. But what's happening in the hot real estate market is people are just waiving, they're just waiving those inspections, because if somebody says, I want an inspection, the seller just goes, no, I'm going to sell it to somebody who doesn't want an inspection. So, and there's so little inventory in homes and so much demand for it that's what's going on. But as Goopy Plastic is saying here, that the real estate market will cool down, and when it comes time to sell your house, a seller or buyer might go, "Hey, did you get a permit on this remodel? I see that you got a new shower here. Was there a permit pulled on it? Can I see who did it? What went on with this? What was replaced?" And there might be some tough conversations, negotiations that happen because of it. So that is a good point. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and people from other states, like Johnny says, permit for dam tile, California sucks. No wonder why everyone is fleeing there. Yeah, that's I don't know. I think again, I got a caller. I had a coaching call uh, with a gentleman named Dave today from Texas, and he told me a horror story about a shower that he just had done. So again, this is a state with no oversight, no contractor license law, no permits, and basically people just come in and you know do whatever. And what ended up happening is he didn't install the shower correctly. It's leaking. It's not sloped correctly. It's puddling, and he's stuck. So again, there's got to be some middle ground. It's not an either or thing. Does California go too far on certain things? For sure. Do we have some crazy politicians, just pandering to the very far extreme of a political party? Yes, we do. But for the most part, a lot of California is very moderate, sensible. Our county, again, up here, Placer County, California, basically, well, a lot of what's happening is a lot of the people in San Francisco are moving up to Placer County because it's a nice place to live, and hopefully they don't try to change it into what they are fleeing from. But yeah, that is a lot of people have left California in the last 5-10 years, mostly because of high taxes and so yeah, that's true. If you're not fixating, relocating the pipe, why permit? Even if you're not changing the plumbing, you do need to get a permit on the water pan test. Yeah, and Travis just answered my question about the humidity sensor. Um, yeah, so I don't know if humidity sensors are part of Title 24 in California. I know the occupancy sensor is. Um, But I don't think humidity sensor. I think humidity sensor just pertains to new fan installations, new ventilation fans. But if the bathroom has a window in California, because I just did one, did a permitted job in Davis last year, and I did the whole bathroom, acted as a general. We actually did two bathrooms, and so and also one thing that you might need to submit if you're doing a whole bathroom is like a plan drawing, basically the floor plan of the bathroom, and anything you're changing, if you're changing locations or anything, you need to note the existing and the proposed changes. But one of the things that we had to do was we did occupancy sensor, but as far as the fan, I asked him, I said, do we need to put a new ventilation fan in? And he said, no, you don't. If there's a window, you don't have to. So he said, but if there's a new fan and you're replacing it, or said if there's an existing fan and you're replacing it, you need to have a humidity sensor in that new ventilation fan. And we usually use the Panasonic Whisper Sense fans. So Irish Eyes says 3 months ago, OC Cali, is that Oceanside, Cali? Oceanside, California. Did my bathroom to the studs, called city, asked what I needed for a permit. They said if everything is going back where it was, I didn't need one. All new, knew everything, no permit. I would just have to ask, did you have a shower pan? Well, if everything was going back to where it was, you mean like you're putting your same mixer valve back in, you're just taking the trim off and putting it on. Um, you need to have a water test if it's a tile. Maybe if you're not doing tiled shower, maybe you're doing like a fiberglass pan. Maybe you could get away with that without a permit. But yeah, if you're changing out a mixer valve in the wall, I'm pretty sure you need to get a permit. And for sure, pan liner, you need a permit. Yeah, here's another common feeling. What Alan Burns says, I have seen many a licensed contractor do shoddy work. The permitting process is about generating revenue for the government. That's a pretty common feeling. You're not alone in that. And again, I would probably say there's some truth to that. But again, we do need some oversight on our building. Take Texas and Florida. Again, I see more failures, more like crazy shoddy work done in places like Idaho, Florida, and Texas than I do anywhere else because again, I I'm doing coaching calls. I usually do 4 or 5 consulting calls a week and I'm flooded with emails every day. I can't get to them all, but I check up on the interesting ones. Every My wife kind of filters them out, so I check them out. But the overwhelming um, majority of shoddy work is coming from states with no oversight because it's not just about it, it's more also what those communities are willing to put up with too, I guess if it's a standard, I guess it's a standard of operating, I would say. That's a general overall standard that people are going by, and contractors are bidding against each other in this market where there's no oversight. So the prices get dropped down really low. So this person who wants to do good work has to drop his work down to even compete. So that's what's happening in some of these places. Okay, that SAC requires a humidity sensor. Stop. Dave. Okay. Red Guard sucks. Weedy is good too, but pricey. What's up? I've done so many jobs with Red Guard, never waited more than 2 days to install tile on it. Of course. I mean, that's because again, customs doesn't put that information out there. They don't put it in their data sheet. At least Laticrete Hydroban, it says right there on their data sheet, wait 72 hours for mortar bed secure at 70 degrees. So they're very specific. They include that. Redguard, they don't say that. In fact, Redguard doesn't even have a mortar bed listed as a suitable substrate for Redguard. Look it up. Download their technical data sheet. They don't even list a mortar bed as a suitable substrate because they want to get around this whole thing of waiting 3 to 5 days. They wouldn't sell their product because, again, this guy like Mr. PH here says, I've done so many jobs with Redguard, never waited more than 2 days to install tile, and nobody else does either. I'm not going to say nobody. Again, I'm making assumptions. The vast majority of people are not waiting to put their tile on the Red Guard. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. APEC, what's up, dude? Hey, that's a good point. So APEC not only kicked in 4.99 for buy me a cup of coffee here. He has a good side note. DIYers can call insurance for a rider and get coverage on your project. So that's a good tip. Yeah, Donald asked, Isaac, have you done a video on how you would do a flood test for inspection on a walk-in shower? That's a great comment, and I will do that on this job. I'll show you what we need to do and to get it ready. But I have done them before, and it's really pretty basic. You basically just fill up the pan with water. I use a Sharpie and then just make a little mark at the water level. And then you're supposed to wait 24 hours and then just re-inspect it. And if that water level hasn't dropped significantly, then it passes. And the thing is when we're using sheet membrane, the mortar will actually drink up a little bit of the water and it will drop a little bit of evaporation, but only if it's like really hot. So for the most part, it really stays right at that line. Um, if you have a big leak, it's going to drop pretty quickly. So that's really all it is. It's pretty basic. Make a line, fill it up, and let it sit. But I will make a video on this one that we're doing. Yeah, APEC has a only paid for bathroom remodel, and sadly, the tile shower drain grouted said all messed up here in Florida, and contractors did bad job. Yeah, Florida is kind of famous for bad bathroom work. I don't want to keep beating that dead horse or keep beating up on Florida because I think there's some really awesome things that are happening in Florida. As far as again, the freedom thing, the freedom to choose, do what you want, run a business, do crappy tile work if you want. I was gonna say some another thing crappy, do bad tile work, and hey, I mean, that's one way to do it, and there's some beauty in the freedom of that, but also there's a lot of people getting screwed over too. Dan says, can you get individual permits for different parts of a new bath, or do you have to get one permit for everything? Example, plumbing versus shower pan. No, it's a permit. So again, the permit card has all of the different scopes of work listed on here, and what needs to be inspected and what order it needs to go into. So whatever you end up doing, so like in this one, in this shower, we're going to end up doing plumbing. We're going to be doing the shower pan. So those two are on here. The other things, I mean, there's also a drywall one listed in here, and that's kind of a gray area because we're not really using drywall. We're using tile backer board, but there's still a nail schedule, a common nail schedule that's supposed to be followed. So if you're putting up drywall in a bathroom, one of the inspections is to make sure that your drywall, field nailing is proper. 12 in the field and 8 on the edges, I believe it is. And so I don't know if they're going to want to inspect like my tile backer nailing pattern. In the past, they haven't. They don't know because you're covering it with waterproofing and stuff anyways. So basically, it'll tell you whatever scope of the project you're doing in there, you have the permit card to get the inspection sign off on. So yeah, even if you were just doing the pan and not doing the plumbing, that's all you would have inspected. You would still get this same card. Oh, that's a good question too. Flood test on a curbless shower. So it's funny. A lot of the building inspectors go off of international resident. I think it's IRC, International Residential Code. They go off the what is it? International the IPC codes. Well, those codes stated what the building inspectors would go off of. Those codes were uh, the shower, curb shower. We weren't doing curbless showers. So those codes state, you have to have 2 inches from the top of the drain to the top of the curb. That's one of the code requirements for the curb height. And so what inspectors were getting tripped up on that because we were doing curbless showers, and the inspectors would come out and go, oh, well, you don't have 2 inches from the top of your drain to the top of the curb. I go, well, there is no curb. Like there's no curb. Yeah, you're right. They say, oh, well, we need that 2 inches. So in the early days, what we were doing is we were building like fake curbs, like Curdy curbs, getting them passed, and then pulling them out after final inspection and finishing the tile. It was really, really stupid. But now they're finally getting on board because the popularity of curbless entry showers is there. So probably I'd say one out of every 6 or 8 showers going in now is a curbless installation. So the last curbless that I did, and this was Sacramento County as well, they we just filled it up to the threshold. So there was only 3/4 inch drop. It was curbless, so it was 3/4 from the threshold to the drain. So we just filled up the water as much as we could right to the threshold. So there wasn't very much water in there, and he passed it in the inspection. One of the ones we did up here in Lincoln, I was just talking to the building inspector, and he said, "Yeah, everybody's pretty on board with curbless entry, so you're not going to have to deal with that old 2-inch old code that inspectors were getting tripped up on." So, yeah, wait, you need a permit for a tiled shower? Yes, you do. Technically, you do. Again, I think it's just good practice. Just ask the homeowners. Just be upfront with it. Just say, "Look, technically, we're supposed to get a permit on your shower, but all they're going to do is they're going to look to see that the mixer valve doesn't leak, and they're going to look to see if the shower pan leaks. And if you'd like, I'll do a water pan test anyways, so you can see that your shower pan's not leaking before you put tile on it. Or I'll get a permit. Do you want me to get a permit? I'll do it." And or third option, right? Homeowner can get a permit as an owner builder, and you can still get all the work inspected, but the homeowner is responsible for the permit. So those are the options that you can at least be upfront with your homeowners about. Yeah, Wade says a serious business will go through the permit process and pass that cost on to the customer. Yeah, that's probably shows a little more professionalism if you just say, "Hey, I'm following the rules no matter what." I'm more of a gray area kind of person. I mean, I don't think, yeah, you're supposed to go the speed limit too, but I think if your intentions are in the right place, it'll be okay. But it's I I think an honest discussion should take place with the homeowner beforehand, no matter what, and let them have some input on it too. Jose Cabrera asked, "Are you having issues sourcing Hydroban and or Curdy board? Can't find it anywhere." Yes, we are. It's foam board has been hard to uh, hard to find, but Arizona Tile, our main Schluter supplier, is they just stocked up. They told me today they had 148 sheets of half-inch Curdy board in stock. So they haven't had it forever. I think they haven't had it for over a year. So I want to get some. It's just to do it. I haven't done Curdy board in so long. Um, it's one of those things. You know how people are. If you can't get it, you want it. Like, I don't know. I feel like doing a Curdy board shower. I mean, Schluter has good products. There's a lot of people misinterpret the stuff I do with Schluter and the things that I've been critical about with Schluter. And if you watch the rest of my videos, you'll know that I use a lot of Schluter products. I'm actually, this is my certificate from the workshop that I did in 2015. So I've done Schluter for a long time, and I use their products. I use other products too. I'm not like an all in, it has to be, but with their improvements to their thin set, the Schluter all set, um, I'm much more impressed with their products. But their wallboard is probably the worst one out of all the foam boards. I mean, it still works. I mean, I have it in my bathrooms that have been good for like 7 years. So I mean, it's wallboard. It's not taking a lot of force and impact, but if you got like a good, better, best, Hydroban, and probably Schluter would be the good, Hydroban would be the better, and then Go board would probably be the best, like as far as the strength, because the Go board has the fiberglass reinforcement, so it's really sturdy. It's really firm. The Curdy board is the softest, unless they've improved it. Again, I kind of want to get my hands on it because, again, that's one thing that Schluter does. When their thin set first came out, it was garbage. It was terrible thin set. Nobody wanted to use it. I bought 2 pallets of it when it first came out, told them to take it back, and they went back to the drawing board, right? Schluter probably has the most extensive research and development department, so they went back to the drawing board. Now they're all set as probably my favorite thin set that we use. Um, so, maybe the wallboard will get improvements too. I don't know. Yeah, Travis said, called Arizona Tile today and talked to Brandon. Yeah, Brandon's a cool dude. Um, um, yeah, we use Schluter a lot because of the availability. I mean, um, the stock distributors are stocking it. Here in my town, I can go to 4 or 5 different stores and pick up all the Schluter products I need. I could get linear drains, I could get heated floor, I could get Detra, I could get Curdy, I could get foam pans, I could get 2-inch board. Now I can get half-inch board. I can get all the edge profiles. So it's just available. And so a lot of times in my coaching calls, consultations, I usually tell steer people into Schluter because it's easy to get. If I say Laticrete, they're like, "Oh, wait, where do I get Laticrete?" And they got to do an internet search and try to find it. Where Schluter's just so available, and it's decent, it's good. I'll mix and match too, man. It's all good. It's not one thing I use Schluter linear drains a lot. That's the one thing I really um, I use. If I'm using a linear drain, I'm using a Schluter linear drain. If I'm using a square drain, I'm using a Flow Effects. If I had my choice of membrane, sheet membrane, it would be RSS or Laticrete sheet membrane. Mm, and the 2-inch board, we use the 2-inch board a lot. We use 2-inch board for making our curbs, making our benches. I love having 2-inch board in the shop with a table saw, and I just cut it to whatever size I want. Okay, we're pushing an hour here, guys. I'm gonna take a few more questions and then let you guys go. But great turnout here, man. We've had over 100 people in the room the whole time, which is awesome for just like an impromptu Monday afternoon. I'm really grateful for all of you guys that hopped on here. Love seeing the seeing the names that I recognize, and thank you so much for being a part of this and keeping me motivated to keep making these videos. The channel is doing great. Think we just went over 180,000 subs, and views are up, watch time is up. So thank you all so much for being a part of this, and the website's doing really cool. My wife has been helping out with tilecoach.com, where we've been selling our flow effects trains and merchandise like my t-shirts and gloves and hats and other fun things. We're going to start bringing in some other stuff. So yeah, it's been awesome. It's been awesome because this can be a lot of work. There's I kind of went through like you'll notice like right around the holidays, I went like two or 3 weeks without uploading anything, and I was really considering like just taking a break altogether because I was just kind of burned out. And then I actually got COVID like over Christmas, right before Christmas. I got COVID, and so my family hadn't had it, and I kind of got like the nasty version of it, where I had a bad fever, lost my taste and smell, and just felt really crappy. And it wasn't so much the illness that like um, did it. I was just feeling like depressed again. I was alone, like Christmas, I was alone, just feeling down. And I was like, man, I don't know if I can keep up. I was feeling like I just had getting pulled in so many different directions. And as I sat in bed by myself, like a week and a half, I just freaking thought about a lot of stuff. And so I didn't upload any videos for a couple weeks. I'm like, man, I don't know if I can keep up making the content. I just can't be everything to everybody. And one thing was too is you'll notice I'm wearing this bracelet, and um, I was in my earlier videos like before Christmas. So I got this bracelet for Christmas, and so you'll notice like in like 3 or 4 months prior, I had these bracelets that were made for me by a really awesome lady. She was really cool. She made a bunch of Tile Coach bracelets that I'm actually going to put up on. I'll be putting them on the website before too long. But I was wearing this bracelet that said Tile Coach in Morse code. Really cool bracelet, and you'll notice on those videos I was wearing it. So I've been wearing that bracelet, and then Christmas morning, my daughter got me this one that says Dad. And so I had this bracelet that said Tile Coach, and then I had this bracelet that said she gave me one that said Dad, and right there it like hit me. I was go like, I'm being Tile Coach, and meanwhile my family needs me to be Dad. And so just I kind of went through all of that over the holidays, over Christmas. Was like, I need to focus on my family and my kids. And I was working a lot, and I was trying to make videos every week, do all this stuff. And um and so I took a couple weeks off, and then um I just kind of reframed it. I changed the way I did my coaching and my consulting, because that was taking up a lot of my headspace and everything. And I was feeling like I wasn't doing a good enough job at getting back to people and everything. And so I kind of redid everything, and a little more organized. And gosh, I'm so glad that I've kept going. And really, it's from like the emails I get, the response that when we do a live stream, I get so many of you guys on here that really keeps me going. And I just see that there's a higher purpose in what I'm doing. It's not just about me. It's that, people need to hear the information that we make in these videos. People need the encouragement. People need to be able to have a good life working in the trades. People need to feel valued. And I'm just kind of through Tile Coach and all the stuff that we do, I'm just kind of a vessel for that to like pour through. And so when I look at it like that, it's so much uh, easier for me to be motivated and do it and get excited about it, because um, it can be pretty it's just a heavy load, I guess. It's not so much that it's hard work. It's more of a responsibility. uh, when you make videos, and anybody who's ever done a lot of social media or YouTube or anything understands that putting yourself out there for criticism, for even whatever it is, when people see you in the way that they want to see you, that it's a lot of responsibility and kind of a heavy burden. So yeah, I don't know how that came up, but I just wanted to share that with you. And I'm really stoked to be making a lot of videos. I mean, and again, with my wife coming on board, that's one of the things that's helped out, is my wife coming on board and, helping out. And I'm able to spend a little more time getting organized, coming up with cool content. And yeah, so I'm stoked. I'm glad to be here. So I will, uh, I will hang out here for a couple more minutes. But I really did want to share my appreciation for you guys, for you being here, being a part of it, and I love doing it. And now that I'm kind of in a better place, both mentally, spiritually, physically. I'm stoked, super stoked to be here, and I can't wait to like just see what the um, see what like the future is going to hold. I have no idea where we're going to go with this, but again, whatever I can do to uplift other men in the trades, to help them, help you have a good life, help you understand that you deserve a good life, that you are worth what you're charging, and as long as I can keep doing that, keep that message coming through, um, I'm gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep going, keep this thing rolling. What did I see? Oh, Landberg Tile. Hey, what's up, Landberg? Dude, I heard somebody told me you're in California, so I don't know how we haven't hooked up and done a collaboration or something. I've I always enjoy your stuff. I think you're a good dude and definitely carrying the message. So hit me up sometime, man. I'd love to maybe do something with you. Wade asked, "What do I do? Like to do in my spare time?" Yeah, Apex, right? I've been golfing quite a bit lately. I have actually, I belong to a club here in town, and I never knew. I always thought of golf as just like, going out and hitting balls or you do the scramble tournaments or whatever, and go out there. Most people are just getting drunk and having a good time, whatever it is. But the being a member of a club is really cool because it's again, it's like a community. I'm a big person who likes to be part of a team and have community. So in the my golf club, I met up with actually Ron from Artisan Tile. He was a member there too. So Ron, you saw in my video that I uploaded this weekend. He's the one with he's got like 20 guys. He does commercial track work. So I featured a video with his crew, and a couple of my guys Kirk went and helped him out for the day. So I was like, I want to shoot some video on how like a track work production tile, residential track work, how the operation. So I did that video. That video's been doing great. It has like 26,000 views or something. And um, but anyways, I featured Ron. Ron's a super cool guy, but I met him. He was a member of the club before I was, and I saw him, and I think I saw his truck there, and I saw Artisan Tile. I was like, oh, dude, there's another tile guy at the golf club. So we hit it off, and we've been playing golf. We play pretty regularly, like at least once a week. And he's got two sons that play, so we usually have a good foursome. And he's better than me. He played college golf, and he's a good golfer. He's like a 3 handicap. And so and I'm a 10. So, but we can get into it. I can hang with them a little bit. But we make a pretty good team. So we've been playing tournaments together, and we just had a member tournament about 3 weeks ago, and it was handicapped. It was a net event, so you take your handicap. So basically, everybody's even. That's the cool thing about playing club golf, is that everybody has a chance to win these net tournaments because you have a handicap, which basically is like giving you strokes. So you're all competing at the same level. And so we took third place in our member like 3 weeks ago. But I love the as you know, most people know about me. I'm a competitive person, and whatever I do, I want to be the best at whatever it is I'm doing. So golf has been kind of that other little outlet that I get where I basically forget about everything else and just kind of get into the zone. And golf is definitely not for everybody, but for whatever reason, the people that like it really get into it. So yeah. Oh, and then Fish Hunter says, "Forget golf. Kokanee season is starts now." So Fish Hunter, where's the good kokanee fishing? Tell me where it's at, because the last couple of years we haven't had any really good kokanee fishing. So fishing is my other hobby that I like to do. Uh, I got a nice fishing boat, and I like to fish for trout and kokanee or landlocked salmon. I'll fish for salmon out in the ocean off of coast of San Francisco here. Um, whatever. I like to get out. I'm not as into fishing. Nice thing, one of the reasons why I switched from fishing to golf is that golf is so accessible for me. It's literally my golf club is 5 minutes from my house. Fishing is really like an all day thing for me. Most of the lakes that are good fishing aren't close to me. We have one lake that's about 20 minutes, but still, yeah, it's still like an all day thing. Usually you're getting up real early. Um, oh, Fish Hunter said, okay, Berryessa. Yeah, we met at the Kokanee Power Dinner. Um, yeah, I'll check out Berryessa. I like Berryessa is a good lake. It's kind of in between here and Napa. But yeah, big Kokanee, big bass lake, and they get king salmon in there. But yeah, that's also cool, man. So Fish Hunter, I was at this charity auction event with my wife and a couple friends, and we're eating, drink, having a good time, do the auction, and then on my way out, somebody says, "Hey, tile coach," or something like that, or "Hey, I watch your videos." I was like, it's pretty cool, man. When I run into people from, and that's happening more and more. Like a lot of the stuff where I go, people are like, "Hey, tile coach," and I love it, man. I love, again, if you see me out and about, please come up, just say hi, whatever. You're not bothering me. I like to meet you. I like to talk and all that stuff. So yeah. So, anyways, guys, that's probably enough for me. I love you guys. I love being here with you, and just thanks for being here, and thanks APEC for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Kicking in $5. That was awesome. And stay tuned. We got a lot of good video content coming up. I've been really motivated, really excited. So, yeah, keep rocking, guys. Keep rocking. Let's keep this thing going. So we'll see you on the next video, and stay strong, guys.